Hello, it's Greg Grizzly Guide. We're back. We hope you're having a happy day wherever you're watching this video content from. As always, I'd like to thank you for your continued support of Greg Grizzly Guide in social media and writing efforts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As always, we also appreciate your engagement on X at Craig Hoffman 11 on that platform, as well as our new Greg Grizzly Guide Discord channel, a place for our community and fans to come together to support us and what we do and what we are passionate about, and we can engage them and help them reach their dreams too. So please feel free to check that out or DM us for a special invite link. Today's topic: when you're not enough. Have a lot of friends and family. Some of them are super successful. Some of them are not and struggle in really every phase of their life. And others, as you might expect, are up and down, depending on the day, the week, the month, the year, and health plays a big part, especially as you become slightly more gray, grizzled, and human, if not gaijin. And they come to us for advice. We're that kind of person. And I was joking with my lovely wife the other day. It's so amazing that I have great advice for everyone else but me. Not enough for myself. And I go down the list sometimes when I'm in bed and I think, what is Greg Grizzly Gaijin not enough at? And sometimes I flip it around and I try to be really positive. What am I enough? Or who am I enough for? And those affirmations are often in short supply, especially in 2025. And I'm 50 years old, as I was reminded today on the chess Twitch stream that I watch nearly every day of the week. I'm on the older side of that community, although there were, to my surprise, 4 or 5 people older than I am. But we started to ask, how old are you? How old are you? How old are you? And the ages went down from 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, which is like against the TOS terms of service in Twitch. And suddenly the host is like, whoa. So you've got something that draws a community of 50-plus-year-old people, as well as people just barely junior high school. And some of them are really great players, even titled. And some of them are brand new to the game. And some of them casual players, and some of them quite serious, who take a lot of pride, time, energy, effort, and money into becoming great players. And some of them get there. The tournaments are often tough. I don't generally play these days because it doesn't really change my life that much. I enjoy chess, so I watch and I learn and I play on my own off stream. But mostly I know that I'm not enough at 50 and the limited practice time that I can put in to compete anymore with a 23, 24, 25, 2600 player, especially in a short time control. And the opposite, which really scares me, is if I did put a lot of time, energy, and effort, and I started to get closer and closer and closer to competing with them, like I believe in my heart that I could and I can and I should, I would be obsessed by it, and chess would not be fun anymore. And I have enough in my life that I do for everybody else. And I've been that kind of person. When you're not enough, what do? I go early, right? My whole life, I was an early student, first one in the class, first one to finish the test, first one to do the paper, first one to ask the question, first one to help a teacher or a professor. In my working days, I was always an hour early for work, even in America, in Japan too, where free time work is far more expected and unpaid. But I believe, hey, I'm going to be a great employee. I'm going to be a great teacher. And I go earlier and earlier and earlier and earlier, to the point where the company once said, why are you so early? And in my mind, it was amazing because in my mind, I said, why aren't my coworkers that early? And there's no loyalty here, and probably not in where you're from, with jobs and companies and work. No matter how hard you work, you're replaced tomorrow. There's that great quote, don't put too much effort into your job, because if you died, they would replace you tomorrow. How true that is. From experience, both in America and here, I can tell you. Not enough for other people, not enough for the company, not enough for the teacher, not enough for the professor, not enough, not enough, not enough. And you believe that eventually, no matter how much you say to yourself, but I believe in me. And those things collide. And you shake off failure, and you shake off disappointment, and you shake off coming up short in those key moments. I'm 50 years old. I can go back in my life and tell you 5 to 6 key moments where Grey Grizzled and Gaijin was simply not enough. Sometimes it was close, and other times I was so far away, it would have taken a miracle. And other times I was just on the right side of that coin flip moment. And that was enough. I had mentioned in another video that I did earlier this week prior to this recording about a Japanese test. I need 90 out of 180. A 90 score is the same as 180 on that test. Pass. And life sometimes works like that for people. You're just enough. And sometimes you're just not enough. I think the last time I took the test, maybe 10 years ago, I was about 5 points shy of a passing score, which I calculated to be about 4 questions in a long test of more than 105 minutes. But not enough. A fail is a fail. 89 is the same as 0, and 90 is the same as 180. And every time I take that test, I think about, like, in my life, how close am I to 180? And this year, I was really, really close to 0 in every phase of my life. My job, gone. My health, gone. Some of my relationships, gone. My optimism, all but gone. And I looked left and right and forwards and back in my and up and down. And there was no answer for me. And this isn't a woe is Grey Grizzled and Gaijin. I have friends who write me often. There's no easy answer, and perhaps no solution that they can personally come up with. And I used to tell people, yeah, but I can pull a rabbit out of a hat. Look at that, miracle. Creating something out of nothing. That's what I do. And I realized, though, that the longer I had gone on in certain situations with job and Japan and my life and my health, it was smoke and mirrors robbing Peter to pay Paul. Some of it was for me because I need to keep my life going. I have to find a way to go to tomorrow. And it was for people who depend on me to keep getting up and making it to tomorrow. But at some point, I didn't get up. I know these videos and content creator stories are supposed to make me out to be the hero. There's that quote, be the hero of your story. I write a lot, and there's always the hero that in the end, while perhaps not a perfect ending, comes out on the right side of it all. It's what people expect when they go to movies and read books and stories and watch content. But in 2025, I was not enough. And as I record this, I am not enough. And I get a lot of emails and messages from friends and families and strangers and Greg Grizzly and Gaijin fans. What should I do? Japan is kicking me in the teeth. And I used to say before the pandemic, that's why they make airports. But I couldn't go back to America now, even if I wanted to. Money, people here who depend on me, health, and the way America currently is, and an exchange rate that would take every yen I have and flush it right down the toilet. To go back with nothing, I'd be gray, grizzled, and gaijin in America, picking up garbage. That's reality. And that's not a depressing thing. That's reality. So what do you do? And I remember the last few years as health kind of declined, it was getting harder and harder and harder to keep going and get up and keep going. And I would pray. I even had a Bible that I had brought from America, and I had even opened it and in earnest tried to find some answers. My grandfather would be proud, God rest his soul, a pastor for more than 45 years. And I would sit in my bed at night and I would have two thoughts. Can I please have an answer, and won't something go my way? And two, dreading that tomorrow was going to come. That was amazing. Sunday night would come. I would enjoy time, home, riding, watching some chess content. And I knew Monday was coming. And I was not going to be enough to barely get to my job, to do my job, or to come home. Reality. And I would try harder on social media and writing. No response. And I was talking to another Japan-based content creator, former now, he lives in China. I said, is it worth it? He said, oh, my interaction's way down too. But clearly, people do make it and make big time money writing and blogging and vlogging and YouTube and Twitch and all the rest. I watch a chess stream, as I said, 6 to 7 days a week, full time, and good on them. But about 140 hours a month, and how hard he works for that. I'm clearly not enough. I don't do what makes money, what people want. And that doesn't bother me particularly so much when I'm working and I'm doing okay in my life. But when there isn't anything else, I do question, is it enough for me to just do it because I'm passionate about talking like this, creating fun content, and just generally being a creative dude? And I've never waffled on that in 20 years here of creating blogs and vlogs, audio content, food pictures, and all the rest that many thousands of people have seen on the internet over the last 20 plus years until 2025. Not enough. And I wonder, am I enough to make it here? I don't know. And I wonder, am I enough for my wife to keep that going? And other folks I care about? Am I enough for my friends? Am I enough for my family back in America? Some of them still annoyed that I have spent more than 20 years here and not living with them or near them or involved in their daily life. And all of that sounds terrible. But this year in 2025, for the first time in 50 years of my life, I don't worry about anything. It was an epiphany, an awakening in my way of thinking that I had realized that looking in the mirror maybe about mid-July. The worrying does no good. The self-doubt does no good. Wasted energy. And I knew that to be true in previous struggles in my life, during times when life was getting on me, or people were getting on me, or things weren't going very well. You know that deep down that it's true, that worrying serves no purpose, but you do it anyway. And when you do it to the nth degree, you grind yourself up trying to overcome that in some fear that something bad is going to happen. And I used to talk about Chicken Little. He said, oh, the sky is falling, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. My young friends and old, the sky does fall on people. There was an earthquake just this week. People injured in Japan, not our area, luckily. But someday, and there'll be nothing I can do about it. And I thought, well, okay, no job, health is not great. No way around that. And choices and decisions had to be made, and I made them, and they were the right ones. And it cost me basically everything that I was doing in my life. And through parts of this year, I took that really, really hard. But then I realized in recent months what an opportunity to start from ground zero. Before I had kind of been knocked down. I was watching Rocky. You know, he gets knocked down and he gets up and he gets knocked down and gets knocked. He never quite gets knocked out. In the first fight, he's knocked down and loses. The second fight, he wins. The third fight with Mr. T, good movie. He gets knocked down and comes back and wins. Rocky 4, Apollo dies, and Rocky comes out and beats Ivan. In Rocky 5, he's on the street and he wins. He's never quite completely down and out. Even in the Rocky Balboa, he's got cancer and he didn't die. The hero of such movies is never completely out of it. But in real life, when you kind of limp along and there's chuta humpa kind of half-assed kind of life existence where I don't hate my job. I don't love my job. It keeps the lights on. Okay, I'm going to keep. And 1 year turns into 2, turns into 3, turns into 4. Checking a box. Time card, beep. Time card, beep. It's time to, it's time to go home. Day after day after day after day. And you sit and you know that you don't love it. The people there don't love it. They don't love you. And you put a smile on your face. Good morning. I'm going to lunch. I'm going home. All with a smile because you need the money, which doesn't keep your life going anyway. And here there's a very outward face. Oh, hello. Even if I hate your guts in the street, you run into me. I'm so sorry you ran into me. I saw somebody get hit with a bike. They apologized for getting hit by the bike. It was 100% the bike's fault. But in 2025, I had had enough of the life path I was on. I had broken a tooth. I went home and I told my perfect wife, when she came home later, that's it. That's it. And from that moment, I addressed things like my health and my life path. And you have to take a hard look at your life. That's the easy part. You could say, well, not that, not the job. And I can go to the doctor or the hospital or the clinic. I have health insurance, thankfully. I can address that, thankfully. I've had friends who were not so lucky and already dead by my age, going to the doctor to finally get things checked out. So there you go. Not enough. but have to find a way to be enough somehow, some way. If that applies to you, I get it. I get it. I get it. Greg Gaijin is great. Everything that you would want to be as a foreigner in Japan. Smart, funny, articulate, makes a lot of content, popular. But I'm Craig. And Craig has struggled in 2025 in every phase. So I say that as we close out here at the end of 2025 and this vlog today, that I hope that when you're down and you're out, don't stay down. And it's so easy to say, and it's easy to tell other people, get up, keep fighting, go, 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 don't give up. It's going to be okay. And I'm reminded again of those Rocky movies. You just keep punching and punching and punching and punching. And Duke tells Apollo, I saw you beat that man like I saw no man get beat before. And the man just kept coming after you. We don't need that kind of trouble in our lives. But it's not a movie, real life. And the ending might be happy or not. And it might be up to you or not. But at the end of the day, I promise you that if you're watching this and you've hung out this long with me, you, me, and everyone who struggles is enough. And that's something to remember. As always, enjoy your life.